Okay, you've been watching the interpellation of Senator Ping Lacson, who just delivered a privileged speech on the second part of his expose on the flood control mess. Dami niya mga nilabas ngayon, ha?
Which we'll break down a little bit later.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
But it's Tuesday, September 9,
Oh, yeah.
2025. Of course, let's just introduce the show title. These are the stories that we're watching today. Former Bulacan District Engineer linked Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Joel Villanueva to the alleged anomalous flood control projects. Hernandez claimed that Estrada got 30% share from 355 billion pesos worth of projects in 2025. Villanueva also supposedly had a similar 30% cut from 600 million pesos in 2023 flood control funds. Hernandez, who was cited in contempt by the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee yesterday, pleaded with lawmakers to not send him back to the upper chamber. He said he feared for his safety after he named senators involved in the payoff scheme.
Sabi ni Senator Marcoleta kahapon, ligtas ka na. Hindi po ito totoo. Si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Joel Villanueva, Yusek Robert Bernardo, at D. Alcantara. Si Senator Jinggoy po ay nagbaba ng 355 million ngayong 2025 sa mga ilang projects sa Bulacan. Ang sabi po ng boss ko dito ay 30% ang commitment dito.
Estrada and Villanueva have denied Hernandez's allegations during today's Senate session.
Hindi ko po sasabihin na I categorically deny this accusation. Dahil po may resibo po tayo. Meron po pwedeng i-verifika kung bakit ito nangyayari. Tayo po ay more than willing mag-undergo at sumali sa anumang investigasyon sapagkat wala po tayong tinatago.
Wala akong tinanggap na anumang halaga mula sa mga flood control projects. Gaya ng mga guni-guni nilang flood control projects, guni-guni rin ang sinasabi niyang 30% commitment ko raw. Para sa mga ordinaryo natin mga kababayan, ang mga binanggit ng mga proyekto ay nasa line items ng 2025 GAA or General Appropriations Act. Isang malaking kasinungalingan ang mga pinagsasabi niya para iugnay ang aking pangalan sa mga proyektong binanggit niya na nasa ilalim na ng 2025 GAA na sa isinagawang pandinig sa mababang kapulungan. Mr. President, these claims are not only malicious. They are blatant lies.
During the same Senate regular session earlier, Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson delivered another privileged speech. This is part 2 of his revelations from what he called the flooded gates of corruption. Here's a portion of that speech where he talked about the BGC Boys, or the Bulacan group of contractors that includes engineers Henry Alcantara and Bryce Hernandez.
Sa aking naunang privilege speech noong August 20, 2025, nauna ko nang nilarawan base sa aming sources ang mag-among sina Alcantara at Hernandez na may parehong level ng pagmamahal sa pera. Itong si Bryce Hernandez, nagkalat na nga ang kanyang mga larawan sa social media dahil sa kanyang kabulastugan. Aba, hindi man lamang nahiyang pumasyal-pasyal sa isang kasino sa Metro Manila hanggang noong September 1, 2025. Habang naghihiring ang Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, si Bryce nasa isang kasino nagsusugal. Ang ibang BGC Boys may record pa hanggang noong nakarambuan ng Agosto sa paglalaro sa mga kasino. Sumatotal, habang lubog pa rin sa tubig baha ang mga taga-Bulacan dahil sa mga pangungurakot na mga ito at kahit booking na mismo ng Pangulo ang kalokohan, sige pa rin ang pagpapasasa ng BGC Boys sa pagwawaldas ng pera ng taong bayan.
Here are the other stories that we're watching today.
President Bongbong Marcos will be announcing the members of the independent commission he created to investigate flood control projects. Marcos promises to release the names within 48 hours from today. According to Malacanang, no politicians will be part of the commission. The president also aims to grant this new body subpoena powers to summon personalities being tagged in the questionable flood control projects. Attorney Nicholas Kaufman, the defense counsel to former President Rodrigo Duterte at the ICC, hopes the current administration will allow his client to return home to face judicial processes. His statement came after the ICC indefinitely postponed the confirmation of charges hearing, with judges yet to assess if the 80-year-old is fit to participate in the proceedings. Duterte's camp earlier argued that his age and detention have affected his condition and that he would be better off addressing the allegations in the Philippines.
And President Marcos said he's had several discussions with former PNP Chief General Nicolas Torre III before deciding to remove him. Marcos explained that Torre repeatedly refused to follow directives from the National Police Commission, or NAPOLCOM, which holds civilian authority over the PNP. The president stressed that the former PNP head's failure to recognize the chain of command ultimately led to his removal from the top post.
And joining us today is Storycon's resident political heckler, Raul Llamas.
Magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon. Kanina pa lang tatawag-tawag ng kung sino-sino na. Hindi natin pwedeng banggatin kung sino nga. Pero very busy with the phones, ha? You know who you are.
A lot of things going on.
Dami nangyayari, di ba?
You know who you are.
And from the Philippine Star, we've got Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi, Ami.
Hi everybody, happy Tuesday, exciting Tuesday as usual.
Well, not as exciting as yesterday.
Not as exciting as yesterday. Pero ngayon nakita mo naman hulugan ngayon Hulugan time ngayon
Naglagan naman din naman hulugan.
Meron ko ba nakita mga...
Naglagan time ngayon.
Ibang hulugan, ang hulugan na ginagawa nila. Inuhulog na unti-unti.
Ayan. Naglagan time ngayon. At denial, mukha abutin tayo alas 10 ng gabi, nagdi-deny lahat.
Oo. Mga kanya petty cash ni Manny Mugato.
Petty cash. Parang wala lang, bare-bare lang. No? Well, if you're
Pero
listening to
tama yung di ba? Yung observation ni Alan Peter. Kung walang resibo, anong pruweba? Kaya anong problema natin dito sa kasong to,
well,
although may way out si Senator Ping, yung malversation nga, yun na lang daw ang i-file. Mas madaling patunayan.
yeah, tsaka mas mabilis.
Dalawa naman ang korte, Ami Yung judicial courts. At saka yung Court of Public Opinion.
And then, 2 days ago,
yan na nga.
pinagtatawanan niyo ako because I said,
Oy, ko pala eh.
the power of Congress comes from the people. And look what happened.
Na-realize mo yun?
Hindi ako tumawa.
Na-realize mo yun?
Hindi ako tumawa.
The power of Congress comes from the people.
Kala nyo,
siya yung
people
tumawa.
can't do anything.
Wala ako noon. Absent ako noon
Hindi na.
Both of you laugh.
Absent ako noon.
Wala kayong
Look
sense
how-
of civic duty.
Ako naniniwala talaga ako that
Look
the
how
power of Congress comes from the people.
Look how the mighty have fallen.
And the voice
just
of the
because
people
of the
come
public
from God.
pressure. Kayo talaga, pinitatawan niya. Okay,
Diba?
wait.
Hindi pala galing sa kontratista yung power,
Let's just recap. So dami na nangyari today. I don't know where to start, but let's recap from Senator Ping's second privilege speech. The biggest takeaways from there where he called the Bulacan District Engineers BGC Boys, the Bulacan group of contractors, sindikato daw talaga sila. Casino losses between these four gentlemen amounted to what? Over 950 million pesos collectively. Can
Give
you
or
just
take.
give or take? I mean, like,
In just a few days.
these are figures that I can't even wrap my head
Ilang araw
around.
lang yun.
Apat lang
Oo
sila.
nga,
They
sana
lost
all,
cumulatively
sana all.
950 million pesos.
I-emphasize mo yun.
But there's a twist to that. Because we don't know if there are really losses at the table. Because what he's suspecting is that this could be a way to launder the
Laundering
money.
Launder.
Right? So what you do is you come into the casino with a lot of cash. You put in some at the table. You lose a little bit. You exchange them for chips. You lose a little bit. That's after a while. You clock out already. So yung chips na dalhin mo sa cashier to be exchanged for new money and thereby na-launder na yung pera. So
Pero
yun
the-
yung suspicion ni
Pero the very
Senator
fact
Ping.
na nasa casino ka, meron kang nilalabag na batas.
Oh, yes, true.
Nagbawal
That was
kasi
the
ang,
first point.
government
Yeah,
officials.
that was the first rule that they
That's in the
violated.
PAGCOR charter.
So, and itong 950 million pesos is just based on their real names or sometimes the aliases. So, hindi pa yan collectively, lahat. Because some of them, like Bryce Hernandez, was using an alias, right? PJ Castro Asuncion
sila.
was being used by JP Mendoza. Henry Alcantara was going by alias Joseph Castro Villegas. So they're using aliases. So,
Pero how
so-
can you launder money if you're using aliases? Ang purpose ng laundering
Oo nga.
ng money
Yan ang
is to
sasabihin ng
justify
abogado niyan.
na sa'yo yung pera na yun. So, medyo strange lang.
Cash cash basis
Kaya nga.
Yeah, so it's not being deposited into the banks. You go there with cash. You exchange them for chips. You play a little bit. You lose some chips. You exchange it again
Yeah.
for cash. Tapos yun na launder na. You classify the chips as your winnings, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so
Pero kung gamit mo ibang pangalan,
Actually, yung ano nun, hinabol noon ng Beijing, yung mga corrupt officials nila
Yeah.
na naglo-launder ng money through our casinos. Hinabol nila noon.
Yung figure sipping,
Ganyan din ang ginawa.
mga
ganyan
1.4
ginawa.
billion ang nilaunder at a time by at least two of them.
yeah, pero ang problema kasi dito,
Yeah.
hindi natin nakikita yung buong picture pa eh.
Yeah,
Gaano
that's
karami yung mga projects, tapos kung
Yeah.
average dyan ay 30%, mas malaki yan doon sa sinasabi mong bilyon. At may mahalagang sinabi si Senator Ping. In-implicate niya si Bonoan.
well, that's towards the
Yeah.
end. So ang sabi niya specifically doon.
MBB.
Yes, correct. So MBB
Maglangke.
Global Property stands for.
Maglangke, Bernardo, Bonoan.
So towards the end of his speech, he said, looks like si former DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan is tied to this flood control mess.
Yeah.
Maglangke is
Yeah, former mayor, Candaba.
Former na ba?
still
Hindi ko
current.
sure.
Yeah, I think he still is.
Matagal na kasi siya
Hindi,
mayor.
correct.
He still is Candaba.
Okay, so tumakbo siya uli.
so-
Naka 3 terms na siya before.
Okay.
So, it's panibagong
it
three
says
terms
online
na. Yeah.
current pa rin siya.
Yeah.
This
And
is
also
Rene
Global
Candaba.
Creek Builders in
Yeah.
ano niya.
Na-link din siya dati kay Napoles.
Yes. And then, so MBB is
Maglangke,
Rene
Bernardo,
Maglangke, Candaba
Yusek
Mayor,
Bernardo.
Yusek Roberto Bernardo
Dati
of
siyang
DPWH.
dati siya nasa Manila City Hall.
Parang city engineer, no?
Siya yata yung public works doon, o city or engineering. Tapos
Under the time of.
Erap.
Erap.
Correct.
Tapos naging USEC siya nung panahon ni Digong.
At tao niya si
Hanggang sa
ano?
kasalukuyan.
Tao niya si
Natanggalan siya.
Alcantara.
Yes, yes.
Siya naman yung intern nagpasok kay Alcantara.
Yes.
Okay,
Panahon
so-
din ni Duterte,
Yes.
pinasok yung mga yan.
So, and there was a picture that surfaced online of itong si Yusek Roberto Bernardo taking his oath, and dun si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, and nandun din si former President Joseph Estrada. And then lastly, MBB, the last name is Bonoan, stands for Fatima Gay Bonoan de la Cruz, the daughter of former Sec Manny Bonoan. Ito
Saka-
yung allegation ni Senator Ping Lacson in his latest privilege speech.
Saka kinwote ni Senator Ping Lacson yung interview ni Bonoan dito sa Storycon. Na sinabi ni Bonoan na isolated case lang yan. Yung mga ghost
Oo
na
nga.
yan. Sa isang distrito sa Bulacan. Sabi niya, hindi totoo yun.
Ayaw na siguro na maungkat pa sa investigasyon ang Global Crete. Global Crete is the other firm that's connected to, allegedly, to Maglangke. So, and then meron pa silang separate na MBB Builders.
The Global Crete won 1.9
Actually,
billion in
mahirap-hirap
contracts.
talagang, mahirap-hirap mag-clear si Bonoan dyan. Kasi pati yung sa budget hindi ba?
Yeah.
Na ngayon nagkakagulod sa budget insertions ng DPWH in the NEP for next year. Siya yung gumawa nun Yung budget call started in January this year.
Tsaka Ami,
That's
sinabi
well
ni...
within his time.
Tsaka Ami, sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson ay kinausap siya ni dating USEC for Planning, Cabral, kinausap yung
Cabral.
kanyang staff kung may gusto silang ipasok sa NEP. Yun yung binabanatan.
Hindi naman dati.
Yun yung
She's still the planning.
Yes, yun yung binabanatan ng ilang mga congressman more than a week ago na yung NEP ay meron din daw insertions. No? Nag-i-insert din daw dyan. Halimbawa yung DPWH. No? Ang sabi ng DPWH at saka ni Alcantara, wala kaming alam sa NEP. Sinasabi
Yan na
ni
nga.
Senator Ping Lacson, meron. Tinatanong nga kami kung anong gusto naming ipasok. No?
So, specifically, the timeline of events is si Senator Ping exposed a staff of DPWH coming to the staff of Tito Sen asking if meron bang gusto i-insert. And then si Yusek
100
Cabral,
million daw, 500 million.
Undersecretary Cabral vehemently denied it during the Senate hearing. She was asked about this. She vehemently denied it. And today, during his privileged speech, Senator Ping showed the screenshot. Allegedly,
Yung
the
text.
the source was Yusek Maria Catalina Cabral. Ang sabi niya doon, "Sir, baka po may priority po kayo, 500 for now. Mavet ko for redundancy, overlap prior funding, correct location and alignment to national priorities, and consistency with menu for local projects po. I can send the menu po if local projects to double check that no ROW right-of-way requests, tamang location, or at least may alignment study naman." And then at the end of it, it says para para masama na sa NEP. Para maisama ko po sa NEP, sir. Those were the exact words of Yusek Cabral, which Senator Ping Lacson revealed today. And in fact, Senator Ping opened his privileged speech by saying she is lying through her teeth.
Tsaka makikita mo ngayon yung bakbakan ng Senado at Kongreso.
Oo nga.
Kahapon kasi, yung diniin ng mga diskaya ay mga kongresista.
Yep.
Nung tinanong sila, meron bang senador na involved, anong sabi nila? Wala. Ngayon naman, sa House hearing, sa TRICOM, ang banat naman, at least yung,
Inipiga pa
yung
ron.
dramatic na banat ay sa mga senador. Specifically,
Inipiga
si
pa,
Goy,
inipiga.
Coming from Bryce
saka
Hernandez.
si Joel Villanueva, at meron ding mga resibong pinakita. Text messages, pictures, no? At saka yung napakalaking petty cash. No? Na nakikita mo lang yun, Ami, sa mga drug cartel eh. Yung
Oo
ganun
nga eh.
karaming pera.
Ang source no, si Bryce Hernandez, yung dating assistant district engineer.
Yes.
In fact,
Yeah.
before he started talking about this, he was asking for security. He was asking na wag na siya ibalik sa Senado.
Security.
Yes, para na-contempt
Mukhang
siya.
hindi na nga eh.
Detention siya sa
Baka
Senado eh.
pagbigyan yung request na yun, ah. Baka daw pagbigyan yung request.
Well, they have. And so he will be
Yeah.
detained at the PNP Custodial Center under
Yeah.
OSA, or Office of the Senate Sergeant at
Sergeant at
Arms. So OSA will oversee, pero he'll be detained at the PNP Custodial Center.
So
But the
parang,
other-
so parang kahapon, parang round one.
Friday.
First round,
Ngayon bawi. Ngayon banat.
Senate. Ngayon, second round, House.
But the other interesting thing, I think,
Hindi,
is yung kay,
makasabay-sabay
Wala nang interparty.
yung kay Curly Discaya kanina, nag-grill si Curly Discaya by, I think it was Chel eh. I don't remember if it was Chel.
Yeah.
Tinatanong siya kung ano itong nasa statement mo na apparently expired pa yung nag-notarize. Statement mo
Oo nga eh. Ano ba naman yun? Sa isang kahit sa kanto dyan, meron namang notaryo.
I forget the wording eh. Ito yung listahan ng mga humingi. Ito yung ilan sa mga listahan ng mga humingi ng komisyon. I forget the wording. It was in English eh. Was it including or no? Basta
SOP, these are the ones who asked for SOP.
no, it was the wording was in such a way na parang this is a partial list.
Hindi, kahapon sa Senado, sinabi niya, we have a ledger. Date,
Oo.
tao,
Meron siya.
magkano. May ledger sila. Parang Kinapoles.
Yeah.
May ledger. No? Yun yung sinabi niya kahapon.
Yeah, pati nga si Chel's point kanina was, so you mean this is only a partial list, may iba pa?
Partial talaga.
Oo, because of the wording, the way it was written down, doon sa statement na notarized ni Curly Discaya. Then si Curly Discaya says,
Ang pinipilit sa kanya kanina, magturo siya ng I think apparently, parang pinalalabas former officials ng Duterte administration, nagalit yung isang congresswoman eh. Sabi niya, ibig mo sabihin, walang nagbibigay sa iyo nung nakaraan Duterte administration. Yan ang hindi ko na inabutan kung ano na kinahinatnan ng usapan na yon.
Yeah.
Kasi sabi niya, yung mga nangihingi sa kanya, this administration lang daw. Nung nagkaroon ng unprogrammed appropriations, that's significant ha. Saka lang daw dumami yung hingi sa kanya. Pero nung nakaraan daw, wala. Kaya nagalit yung isang ano. Ibig mo sabihin, nung Duterte administration, walang nangihingi.
Pero,
Hindi ko
pero,
alam kung ano yung denouement
even
niyan.
before they got to that part, yung back and forth kasi was this guy was being grilled, so sino pa yung nasa pangalan, sino pa yung ibang pangalan
Yeah.
na hindi mo sinama dyan?
Kasi sinabi
partial
naman niya
lang
na
ito.
meron pa eh.
Oo, sinabi niya meron pa. Tapos, later on sabi niya, humingi siya ng executive session kasi delikado yung pamilya niya pag magsasalta pa siya. So pinayagan siya muna makipag-usap sa kanyang abogado. Tapos pagbalik niya, hindi pa rin nagkaintindihan. Wala palang dagdag na pangalan.
That is the point of Pasig Mayor Vico Soto, which is ang daming inconsistencies. When you look at their testimonies from before, you compare them side by side, ang daming inconsistencies. So clearly, people are not telling the truth. Even with when he was asked about something as simple as, where did you get the capital to start more businesses? For instance, una sabi niya, sa biyenan ko, miram kami, then sa bangko din. And then a few minutes later, he changes his answer, sabi, no, teka lang, we also had earnings from previous years.
Na ginamit naman ng ibang congressman para i-spin na yung sinabi ni Vico Soto na itong mga testimony niya sa mga congressmen ay malabo. Parang ganun yung spin naman. No? Dahil puro congressman yung kanyang diniin eh. So ngayon, ang sinasabi ng iba, dahil may inconsistencies, yung buo ay inconsistent. Na baka hindi naman. No? Di ba?
Well, it's...
Okay, ito pala yan. Ang pagkakasabi niya sa statement niya, ilan sa kanila ay sina ganon. So, ang point ni Chel, so ibig mo sabihin, ilan lang yan sa kanila, meron pang iba. So,
actually,
then he walks it back and he says, hindi pala tayo nagkaintindihan kasi Bisaya ako. And then it turns out later na, tika, saan ka pa lumaki? Turns out, 25 years na siya nasa Pasig nakatira. So sabi sa kanya, so nakakaintindihan ng Tagalog. So it's not miscommunication.
Yung isang nasa listahan niya na congressman ay hindi congressman nung 2022 onwards. Is congressman siya before 2022.
There were actually
before
a few.
2022. So hindi ito lahat mga kongresista ngayon. Merong ilan na before 2022 elections.
So it seems like we're looking at half-truths here. Baka there's some parts of it that are true, some parts of it that are not. And maybe it's, as some of the pundits are saying, the idea, the intention here is para paguluhin yung story.
Yes,
right?
to
So
give doubt to the entire...
hindi na natin alam how to follow it because there's so many different strands.
Pwedeng ma-absuelto.
Pwedeng kumuha ka ng mga tip lang. You cannot choose him as a state witness, obviously.
Correct.
Kapag ganyan kagulo. Kasi legally, talagang tama yung mga abogado. Kapag tainted yung one part mo ng testimony, wala na, tapo na yan lahat. Pero he can provide some leads. Yun lang. Kaya lang, ano nga yun? Sino yung mali? Sino yung tama? Sino yung guilty? Yun ang mahirap gawin ngayon.
It looks like all of them are...
Ito pang isa, yung isang project engineer DPWH sa District Number 1, si Dumasig, he was being asked kasi kasama siya sa pag-approve ng walang inspection at pagbulag-bulagan. Sabi sa so anong kapalit niyan? Wala naman po, kasi pinipilit lang ako dahil delikado yung aking trabaho. Then it turns out, according to Lacson, kasama siya sa BGC Boys na puro casino. Na pag manalo at matalo, milyon-milyon.
Tsaka huwag niyong kalimutan, si Diskaya is just one of those 15 contractors.
The other one...
May iba-iba pa. Yung isang ang babae na nag-testify kahapon, ang sabi niya, kahon-kahon ng pera.
Ayun, si
dinadala
Sally
niya.
Santos yun, ng SYMS.
Dadala siya, kahon-kahon ng
240 million pesos in one go, in one day.
Imagine mo, ilang kahon yun?
Pero
ilang
natin yun.
Pero
natin yun.
Si Sims Construction also came up in Senator Ping's privilege speech today. Apparently sa Barangay Perez, Bulacan, marami silang questionable projects. For instance, December 17, nabigay yung notice of award. This is for a revetment project yata yung pinakita niya. December 17, notice of award. By December 18, the next day, meron ng notice to proceed. And by December 20, Sims Construction filed paperwork to say that they've completed 46% of the project.
Bilis, dalawang araw.
So,
Dalawang araw from the awarding.
amazing. Dalawang araw from the notice of award, 46% completed na yung project.
At naniningil na.
And so, naniningil na sila ng 42 million. Right? So, not just there, but by March 14, and remember, there's a lot of holidays in between, March 14, less than 3 months later, 89% completed na raw yung project.
Baka talagang very efficient.
So,
Baka kailangan i-define mo yung completion
So
Baka mo nilagay
nag-request-
ng karton lang yung gilid ng ilog.
correct. So nag-request na sila
Ilagay ng karton.
nag-request na sila ng second billing, yung Sims Construction. And so what Senator Ping did was he sent his own staff to check. And if we could pull up those pictures, what you'll see is ang medyo funny na hindi. The pictures look exactly the same. So nothing changed in that time that they
Hindi,
were
pati-
billing the government.
Pati yung taong
Pati-
nasa background, hindi nagbago.
Exactly. I don't know if we have that picture, but
Tsaka may dalawa ring mahalagang nangyari. No? Una, kahapon, nagsampa na ng kaso ang COA at saka ang DPWH dun sa ilang mga tao. No? Dahil yan kasi yung simula pa lamang. No? Ikalawa ay within the next 2 days, ay lalabas yung pangalan ng independent commission. So meron namang iba na nangyayari labas dito sa mga skandalo na ito. May sinasampahan na ng kaso, sinisimulan na, at may palabas na independent commission.
Ay, Bok, teka, wawa naman yung tropa natin, no? Naghihintay siya sa Zoom. Si Arles de los Santos, ang ating mojo. Arles, ano balita sa'yo?
Ay,
Magandang hapon, no, Bok, Regina, at nandito nga tayo sa Kamara pa rin kung saan nagpapatuloy pa rin ang investigasyon at hearing ng Infrastructure Committee patungkol nga sa mga maanumalyang flood control projects. Kung saan nga kanina ay kinumpirma ni DPWH Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral na nagkaroon nga ng alokasyon na 51 billion pesos ang distrito ni Congressman Paulo Duterte sa huling 3 taon nga ng panunungkulan ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Agad yan na sinagot ni Congressman Paulo at sinabi na ibalik daw sana ang focus ng usapin ng Tri-Committee kay Representative at House Speaker Martin Romualdez, gayon din kay Representative Zaldico na yun nga raw ay may mga kinalaman sa mga budget dito sa Kamara. Pumwelta pa siya, dagdag niya pa dito na parang bigla na lamang daw i-dinadivert sa kanila ang issue. At kung mas mahalaga daw na manatili na talakayin yung mga bagay na talagang magbibigay linaw sa mga issue na kinaharap nga ng DPWH at ng iba pang mga bahagi ng bansa na mayroon ngang mga mga anomalya sa kanilang flood control projects. And I quote, sinabi niya pa dito na never daw siyang nakialam sa budget hearing ng Kamara at kahit na pa tanungin daw si House Speaker Romualdez ay wala raw siya talagang kinalaman dito. Samantala, balik tayo sa nangyayari ngayon dito sa House Tri-Com hearing, nagpatuloy nga ang pag-isa ng mga miyembro ng komite nito kay Curly Discaya, kung saan nga itinanong ni Representative Jinky Luistro kung bakit nga raw wala na mga pinangalanan na mga maaaring mga tao na involved na nanghihingi ng pera sa mga nagdaang administrasyon. Kasi meron siya ipinakita ditong forecast kung saan nakita natin na talagang umaabot ng ilang bilyong piso ang naging halaga ng mga kontrata ng mga kumpanya ng mga diskaya sa nakadaang administrasyon. At ang tanong ni Luistro ay bakit ngayon lamang na sinasabi o binubuksan ito ni Diskaya kung dati pa man ay meron na siyang kumpirmasyon na nagkakaroon din ng panghihingi ito ngang mga ilang opisyal daw ng DPWH. At ang kinatawa pa nga ng ilang mga mambabatas dito ay ibinigay ni Diskaya ang pangalan ng isang opisyal na DPWH na ngayon ay namayapa na. Kung maaari daw ay magbigay ng mga bagong pangalan at silipin nga kung paano tumakbo ang business ng mga Diskaya. Kanina rin ay nagkaroon ng attempt na i-contempt siya matapos magkaroon ng ayon dito ay attempt na guluhin o lituhin ang mga nagtatanong sa kanya pero hindi yan natuloy matapos ngang walang mag-second sa motion na ito.
okay.
Arles, may pinangalanan ba si Curly, yung from the former administration? Yun yung naiwanan ko na kanina bago nag-umpisa tong show.
So far, ang nabigay niya ay yung nakaraan na mga pinuno ng Region 4A ng DPWH at ilan pang mga opisyal. Actually, nakatutok din tayo dun kanina pero kukunin natin yung pangalan mamaya. Pero so far, may ilan pa raw na mga pangalan at mga tao na maaaring maiugnay sa issue na ito.
Okay.
Okay, maraming salamat sa iyo, Arles de los Santos, reporting from the House of Representatives sa Quezon City. Arles, thank you.
Naman.
May sasabi ka?
Pumarang na daw Sabi ko baka yun ang ghost project.
Natutuwa
Hoy,
tayo
this is
dyan.
not a laughing matter.
Walang napangalanan, ano?
pero-
Wala,
ay-
hindi siya
ay-
nadikdik
Gusto mo,
talaga.
umiyak din ako, katulad ng presidente. Naiyak ka rin ba nung pinapanood mo?
But no, I was gonna say,
Yung funny pa,
Good point.
yung sinabi pa siyang yung pinangbibili ng Rolls Royce, galing sa pera ng taong bayan, pinangbibili ng Rolls Royce. May naglagay ng picture naman yan nung nasa
when he was in
London
college
siya.
sa Cambridge.
Sa UK.
With
Rolls
top-
Royce din
with
yun.
top hat and a
Wasn't
Rolls
that also
Royce.
a Rolls Royce?
That's
Mas
it.
mahal yun, dahil classic yun eh.
But I don't know,
Bet to
19,
shame.
that was 1970s, 90s.
70s. Calizays.
Hindi naman niya binili para sa payong. I mean, that's probably just
Well,
wala pang payong at that time.
That's consolation.
Yeah, wala pang payong at that time. But just to illustrate gaano kawawa yung Bulacan here, it's not just ghost projects, right? It's what Senator Ping was saying today was that there's clear patterns of corruption here. Sindikato nga, we're talking about rigged or questionable bidding, impossible timelines of completion. Yun nga, within 2 days, naka 46% na daw.
Galing talaga
Manipulated,
ang Pilipino, no?
manipulated progress reports and falsified public documents, which is why he's recommending charges of malversation through falsification of public documents at this point. Because that's the easy, I guess that would be the easier one to prove. Because-
Mas mabilis.
Oo.
Actually, yung pinag-uusapan pa lang natin.
Kasi yung
flood
corruption,
control,
kailangan mo ng mga resibo eh.
Flood control. Hindi pa natin pinag-uusapan mga schools.
Yes,
Hindi pa natin
buildings.
pinag-uusapan ng buildings,
Yeah.
bridges, etc.
Roads.
Roads.
Pero it feels
Roads.
like the bulk of it is in flood control because when you think about the sums we're talking about, right? 3 billion sa NEP, naging 20 billion.
Mahirap kasing inspeksyonin.
Tsaka kailangan mong i-renew parati yung,
Mahirap
yung repair.
inspeksyonin yung flood control
Kasi
eh.
tabing ilog yan, nasisira yan after so many
Pero pag
rains.
lumabas ka rin kasi sa kuweba, tapos pumunta ka sa kalsadang ginagawa, yung dapat 2 dangkal. 2 inches.
Yeah.
lang.
Yes,
So
that's
kasama
what
yan.
they're
Oo, ang
saying.
nipis-nipis.
That's what they're saying. It's not easy to inspect or
Saka kahit
audit
yung
kasi nasa
magandang
ilalim.
kalye.
Yeah.
Yung magandang kalye, ewan ko sa inyo ha, kasi sa ibang lugar around here konting lang sisirain na kahit yung magandang kalye.
Yes, oo.
Magtataka ka bakit ba sinisira to?
Kasi kung hindi, babalik nila yung budget.
Dapat nga tanungin nila kung
pagpatapos
bakit gustong wasakin yung EDSA dapat tanungin nila yon bakit gustong wasakin ng EDSA for 2 years?
Ang
In the
kabuuan.
Dapat tanungin yun at least
Yung sabi nga ni
nasuspindi yun.
Magalong, di ba? Yung ilaw sa kalsada.
Cat's eyes.
Yung cat's eyes, di ba?
Cut size.
100 times overpriced, di ba?
Overpriced.
Oh, tapos yung mga harang,
Traffic
overpriced din yun,
barriers.
no?
Meron pa yung rock
Traffic
netting.
barriers.
May rock netting
Rock
pa.
netting.
Rock netting
So
that was
malawak
overpriced.
eh.
Rock
Yung
netting.
sistema ng corruption is much broader.
And it's clear it's been happening for years. Hindi naman,
Yes,
it's not gonna get to this point na napaka-sophisticated and daming layers, not just in a
Hindi nga
span of
tinatago eh.
3 years.
But what's
Oo.
amazing is this is just in Bulacan. It's just tatawid ka lang ng NCR. It's not bunga-bunga land kung saan nakatago yung mga
It's practically NCR na.
Oo.
No?
It's actually greater NCR if you ask someone. It's greater NCR already.
Mahal na ng lupa dyan eh.
Speaking of Bulacan, Senator Joel Villanueva has
Ronald,
denied
bakit ayaw nang imbitahin si Magalong?
Ha?
si
Nung una hat silang imbitahin si Magalong, ngayong gusto na niyang umarap. Ayaw na siyang imbitahin.
Eh baka marami siyang, ang mukhang narrative ngayon sa investigation ay wag madiin yung Congress.
I don't know
mas
ano na
mga
yung
senador.
narrative, but in any case, si Senator Joel Villanueva, we have to mention, has vehemently denied as well all the allegations linking him to these contractors. Si Engineer Bryce Hernandez, naglabas pa ng screenshots today as well, allegedly of a conversation between Sen Joel and which DPWH official ba yun?
Si Alcantara.
With DE Alcantara, that's right.
Yeah,
Allegedly,
Alcantara.
ito na yung screenshots where they were having a conversation about the budget for flood control projects. We haven't verified that and see, but all we know at this point is that si Sen Joel has denied all the allegations, as have Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Si Senator Jinggoy said that yung picture niya that's circulating with DE Henry Alcantara, that was just probably a one-off kasi I mean, tama naman, he's a public figure. Lots of people want to take photos with him, right?
Pero lahat naman yung na-implicate ng deny eh. 100% Meron ko bang nakita na hindi nag-deny? Baka meron ka lang
Why do you
nakita.
have to ask
Kahit
me
sa
the hard
Bilibid,
question?
ako. Pumunta kayo sa Bilibid. Kahit sa Bilibid yung convicted na.
Wala pang bumigay,
Tanungin niyo
ano,
lahat
wala
siya,
pa
lahat siya
nag-fold.
Hindi mo
magdi-deny.
napansin? Lahat nag-deny eh.
But yung si Senator Jinggoy, he did admit na merong Beng Ramos, was it Beng Ramos, who is not his staff but is a staff of the Blue Ribbon Committee and once had a relationship with Senator Jinggoy's staff. So ito
Alam ko
yung
na.
Beng na nagte-text daw kay sa
Saka ang
DPWH.
alam ko, may active case pa si both Jinggoy and Joel.
Meron pa si Jinggoy. I'm not sure about
Yung
Joel,
sa
pero si
ombudsman, yung disqualification.
Meron pa si Jinggoy
Si
Graft.
Carpio Morales yun eh, yung nagsampa ng kaso kay Joel Villanueva. At saka si Laila de Lima. Si Jinggoy meron pa sa
Meron
Sandigan
pa siyang
Bayan.
draft, oo. Although na overturn yung kanyang earlier conviction
Bribery.
last year, mga December last year.
Bribery
Pero
ngayon.
meron
The
pending.
disqualification case against Senator Joel, if I understood correctly, because I wasn't here in those years, was nag-issue na si Ombudsman Carpio Morales, but the Senate protected
Yes.
its own and said only we can discipline one of our members.
Yes.
Tama? Okay, so
Pero buhay pa yon.
buhay pa.
Buhay pa yon. Yun ang sinasabi ko lang.
Ano ba yung
Hindi to-
statute
hindi
of
to bago.
limitations doon?
Dito bago. At saka yung mga nagsasabi na hindi ko kilala ito, hindi ko kilala yan, eh naglalabasan yung mga picture at video. Yun yung problema pag may resibo.
I don't know how to answer. In the meantime, there's a
Ikaw,
news.
mag-ingat-ingat ka. Papicture ka ng papicture sa mga kanina-kanina. Mamaya.
In the meantime,
Nakunan
there's
ako ng picture, bibili ng pirated
Ayun na.
DVD.
We're
Bagay.
looking at
Sa bagay mo.
mukhang this looks like it's been a few years.
At sinabi rin
Few
kasi ni
years ago.
Jinggoy na hindi niya kilala si Alcantara.
Oo,
Yan yung
that's
problema pag sinabi mong hindi mo siya kilala, tapos may lalabas na ganyang pictures. Tapos ang saya-saya nyo pa. Diba?
Kasi this was at a party.
Pero in fairness naman, maraming pictures sa'yo na ngingiti ka rin. kahit
Sabi
hindi
ko
mo
nga,
kilala eh.
oo nga, as a public figure.
Pero yung isa kasi birthday, ibig sabihin, inimbita mo siya ron.
In-invite siya, yun. No. In-invite siya sa ano eh. Sa Soler ba yun? O basta
Hindi,
sa ano eh,
ang
sa-
sagot ni Sen Jinggoy Dan, sumabit lang probably si D.E. Alcantara. Ang in-invite niya is lahat ng cabsex, lahat ng baka sumabit lang daw.
Oo nga. Lahat naman
Sumabit
nag-deny
ko
eh. So lahat ng lumabas na ebidensya, lahat yan fake. Dahil nag-deny lahat eh.
Just like
Baka may maniwala sa'yo, Ronald.
just like marami din pictures yung Diskaya couple, right?
Oo.
With the local officials,
Buti na lang,
With
wala
Sabi
picture
siya,
DPWH.
kaya mag-ingat ka. Gano'n ang lakas.
with DPWH
Oh, yeah.
officials. Meron din yung Diskaya couple with former Sec Manny Bonoan, which was from a few years ago. Hindi ko alam if I can dig it up.
Mark Villar.
With
meron sila.
former Sec Mark Villar, who is now part of the majority, by the way. So sumama ulit sila sa majority. And so the question of whether or not he will ever get summoned during the Senate hearings is still up in the air.
Anong nais mo ipahiwatig?
I'm
Parang may nais kayo ipahiwatig eh.
Sige, ganito. Si Vince Dizon consulted the former Public Works Secretaries
Babe
of
Singson.
Pinoy and Cory, si Ping De Jesus.
Oo.
Pero lumataw eh. Hindi nakonsulta
Oo, yan ha. Kayo talaga, malisyoso kayo.
Bakit? Hindi.
Hindi, si Ping De Jesus kasi kasama niya sa BCDA dati.
Si Ping.
Oo. Si Babes naman ay kinoconsult niya nung siya ay naging DPWH Secretary. Pero
Even now.
Si Babes kasi,
Ay, nga.
nagbigay yan ng master plan sa Duterte government.
Sabi nga niya.
Oo nga, wala makakita,
Na wala
no?
makahanap.
Na walang makahanap. Ikalawa, parang kinoconsider siya for a Department of Water before.
Gagastos na naman daw tayo for another master plan.
Dito ba siya nagmura?
Oh.
Yes. When he
Dito.
said
Yes.
BS daw yung excuse ni D.E. Alcantara. Kasi ang excuse ni D.E. Alcantara sa Senate was that ang dami-daming paperwork, hindi lahat ng projects na nadadalaw niya in person. Because there are so many of them.
Yes, sobrang dami.
Oo. And sabi ni former Sec Singson, that's your district, right? That's BS na hindi mo
Yun yung trabaho
ma-check.
mo.
You have one job, right? Yun yung trabaho mo, which is to check all of these projects in your district, hindi mo pa magawa.
Pamura. Usually, hindi nagmumura yan.
Kung puyat ka sa casino, talaga, hindi kayo, wala kayong konsiderasyon eh.
Well, sama ko yun sa cabinet for 6 years eh. Very subdued yun.
And I like his policy of, he doesn't socialize with
Yeah,
contractors.
lahat ng sa opisina. Para may CCTV.
Because what we're seeing out of these hearings is that itong si Diskaya couple do socialize with the government officials a lot.
They need contacts eh. Ganyan yung mga yan.
They need contacts for contracts.
Yeah. And contracts, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Alam nila, ganun yung ano natin eh. Ganun yung kultura natin eh. Okay. Okay na kayo.
Ano nais mo ipahiwatig?
Si Ami yun.
Hirap dito. Dahil mga guys si pahiwatig eh. Ayaw diretso yun eh.
I wonder what tomorrow brings.
No, it's...
Do you not wonder what tomorrow brings?
Hindi ko na alam what tomorrow will bring, honestly. I mean, this week started, wala naman ako expectations, tas biglang may Senate leadership coup. By the way, the new Senate Minority Leader, we just confirmed this afternoon, is Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. No surprises there. He was expected to step up and lead the minority. And so now yung minority bloc in the Senate is composed of the 9 members who did not vote for SP Tito Soto.
Naghati yung Cayetano, di ba?
Yes, si
Si
Sen
Alan tsaka
Pia, si Sen Pia pumunta sa majority, si Sen Alan nasa minority.
Hindi naman siguro may fundamental difference sila sa politika.
So ano yun? That's a strategic calculation.
Hindi ka na nagpahiwatig, diniretso mo na. Oo. Ibig sabihin doon,
I need you to say it. Ikaw magsabi.
ikaw na nagsabi, kaya, di ba?
Okay.
Marami naman tayo mga ganyang pamilya eh. Marami naman tayo kahit yung si Presidente, yung ate niya, nandun sa kabila.
Hindi, pero ito hindi. I
Diba?
doubt it kung may
Yung iba
differences.
hindi.
May differences sila. Unlike yung the better Estrada at saka yung the bad Estrada. The good Estrada.
Sino tinutukoy mo doon?
Yung being safe na.
Ayun, magkaiba talaga yun.
Sino
Diba?
tinutukoy mo?
Pero yung Cayetano, I doubt kung magkaiba yan. It's more, sabi nga niya, calculated.
Because to be fair, again, remember that in order to keep your chairmanships, the committee chairmanships, you have to be in the majority. And si Sen Pia is Ways and Means, which is also a pretty influential committee, right? So natanong si Tito Sen if that's gonna change, and he says if Senator Pia still wants it, then it's hers, right? It's as simple as that. Remember nung nagagalit yung mga tao because si Kiko and Bam went over to the majority. But it's as simple as, okay, we want the committees that we want, and that's the price you have to pay.
Yeah, to vote for cheese.
Oh, which, 6 weeks later has been ousted.
At nanatili
Pero
sila.
wala pa mga
Hindi mo tayo
committee,
overtime?
no? Wala pang reports ng committee.
Pina-overtime tayo.
Kasi,
With all,
overtime na ba?
pina-overtime
Oo,
tayo
OT na
with
kaya.
everything that's going on.
5:30 kami mamaya ni Ami.
Oo nga. Hindi, wala pa. Ed, wala pa kayo ng mga committee kasi even the minority will have committees eh.
Yeah.
Mukhang today matatapos yan, Ami.
So si Gatchalian, he is
Majority,
keeping the finance committee.
Inuna muna nila yung mga major
Yung malalaki.
positions.
Yung foreign affairs, kanina punta?
Pinag-uusapan pa.
Okay, I mean yun eh. Dati
Ayun,
Okay,
sigurado wala na kay Aimee. Ngayon may dalawang senador na nag-uusap kung sino sa kanila ang kukuha.
Si Risa.
Si Senator
Posible.
Risa,
Yung health,
constitutional
tsaka women.
amendment.
No? Health tsaka women. Tapos isa
Kanina
pa.
yung constitutional amendment?
Yung dati kay Robin. Kanina punta yun.
Kanino yan? Hindi, ikaw nga tinatanong ko, may listahan ka dyan. Constitutional amendment, sino?
Basta yung
Tinatanong ko
defense.
nga kayo, wala akong listahan.
Yung defense na kay Loren. No?
Yeah.
Sa kanya napunta yun. No?
we know for a fact as well at this point that si Senator Risa was offered to head up Blue Ribbon by Tito Sen.
Yeah.
But she turned it down kasi daw si Senator Ping would be a better fit, she said.
Yes. Pero
Which
tag
is,
team sila ron. Magtutulungan silang dalawa. Parang ang tawag ni Ping sa kanya, wingman. Wingwoman.
She's gonna be
Wing
the
person.
wingwoman. But you're right. She also apparently asked for the health portfolio. So she's gonna have women and children plus health. So marami-rami din. That's a lot of work din.
Yes, yes.
Oo.
Yung
Tapos,
kay Bam, saka yung kay Kiko, they're keeping it. Gusto nila yun, di ba? Gusto nila yung committee, education,
Education
and
and
ano.
agriculture.
Yung higher education yata, nakuha ni Loren, yata. So, defense at saka higher education. No? Paano yung basic education na kay BAM?
Until now, meron na ba tayong ethics committee chair?
Baka si Risa dapat yun.
Di ba nang una dapat pupunta kay Robin yun? May
Ba't ka
chismis
natawa?
natin kay Robin. Ha?
Ba't ka natawa?
Ba't ka na pa, ano, ba't ka
No,
na pa,
no, no. My
parang
face-
kang naiiri.
No, no, no.
Meron ka na namang
Kita mo,
naisip pahiwatig.
kita mo yung expression mo sa mukha.
No, my face is blank.
No, it's not.
No, yes, it's blank.
Ako ang blank.
Ayun ang blanco.
Kaya nga, yung
Ikaw yung
committee
blank
ni
check.
Robin. Ano magiging committee ni Robin? Siyempre, may committee din siya. Lahat sila meron eh.
Oh, pero baka hindi chairmanship.
Ah,
Pero dati kahit naman minority ka,
Tatlo.
you'd also get a chairmanship kasi
Yung mga
wala-
yung mga walang gustong kumuha.
yun yung mga,
walang
mga
gusto
minor
kumuha.
talaga.
Culture and arts, for
ganon.
instance.
Kasi there are only 24 of them and there are a greater number of committees than
Yeah.
there are senators.
Yung iba kasi parang dagdag lang na trabaho yan.
Yeah.
Ano namang pa yan eh. Walang value added. So,
Oo.
yun, yung
Oo,
dun.
may sweldo yun ah. Kayo talaga
Oo,
may
ano yun.
additional sweldo
May
yun.
add-on yun.
If
Yun
you're
nga,
the chair,
staff, budget.
may
no?
dagdag yun.
Oo. Pero yung iba
Wala
kasi parang hindi
insertion,
na...
pero may dagdag yung
Oo.
yung remuneration mo as a senator. Mas may dagdag kung chair ka ng committee.
Pero
yung
siyempre,
normal ha, hindi yung insertion.
oo. Pero siyempre, dapat may output ka. Kung chair ka ng committee, dapat may gagawin ka. Di ba? Kailangan meron kang mga legislations, at saka hearings, etc.
An outstanding question, of course, is what's going to happen to the impeachment now that si Tito Sen ang Senate President. We can all still remember when they were debating this on the floor. Of course, he was arguing for abiding by the Constitution faithfully, which is to commence the impeachment trial forthwith.
Yung kasi yung dilemma nila eh. Kung matutuloy yung pag-reject ng Supreme Court do sa motion for reconsideration, no? Kung itutuloy nila, kukunin nila sa archive, then you may have a constitutional crisis. No? Ikalawa ay they don't have the numbers yet dahil siyam yung minority eh. At merong majority na anti-impeachment like Mig Subiri. So kailangan pa nila so medyo uphill, no? At hindi ganun kadali na tanggalin sa archive yung impeachment, lalo na kung yung Supreme Court ay i-reject yung MR. Hindi ko sinasabing i-reject ng Supreme Court ang MR, no? Pero yun.
But that decision is due any day now,
any day
right?
now.
Because nag-file na ng response yung Duterte camp and it's been more than 2 weeks, I think.
Baka
if
nga
I'm not
meron na,
mistaken.
baka nga meron na nakasulat eh.
Okay. So sino na yung ponente this time?
Ako na lang yan ay timing. No? Baka. Hindi ko sinasabing definite. No?
Sabi mo, wag naman Friday. Nagkakagulo.
Pero naapektuhan din ng public opinion ng Supreme Court, di ba?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
In fact, I know for a fact na medyo sensitive sila dyan.
At saka, Ami, parang nagbago yung ihip ng Malacanang eh. Di ba?
Yes.
Mukhang yung Malacanang. Paano yung 10 senador na lumipat sa minority, parang hindi naman yun gagawin on their own eh. In the goodness of their hearts, di ba? Yung, ibig sabihin, meron din.
Sabihin wala silang kusa? Or you
Meron
imply,
naman.
I mean, they're not,
Yan yung
they're not
independent.
independent.
Co-equal branches of government eh. Kaya,
Pero Ronald, yan ang tinatanong ko. If BBM has that kind of suasion on his ally sa Senado, bakit hindi niya nagawa nung sa impeachment?
dahil
Bakit hindi niya
baka,
na
baka naniwala siya sa sabi-sabi ng iba na hindi kailangan yung impeachment, no? At kaya namang talunin
So,
si
tingin mo
Sara sa
sincere yung
2028. No? Baka may nagsabi sa kanya ng ganon na hindi kailangan ng impeachment, negative pa yan. So, labanan na lang natin sa 2028. Kaya naman nating talunin. Baka may nagsabi ng ganon at medyo merong naniwala. Hindi ko sinasabi na nangyari yun.
Sabay ngiti. Sige na nga, mag-goodbye na nga tayo. Matotrouble ka. Matotrouble ka pa, hindi oras yun eh.
Okay. we'll end there.
May live pa to.
Wala namang pahiwatig. Si Reg kasi na pahiwatig.
Excuse me, my face is...
O, yan ka na naman.
I am not giving anything away. Thank you for joining Storycon today. I'm Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, Ronald Llamas, our resident political heckler. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
May emphasis.
Tapan mo muna yung ano mo.
May emphasis kasi.